I'm living proof that you can go from heartbreak to healing to total transformation. My divorce in 2020 led me to meditation and to the understanding that your greatest transformation begins with one thing: understanding yourself. Not just your human self, your divine self too. Because when you live only from the human lens, life feels like an obstacle course. But when you align with the divine in you, life becomes a colorful path, guided, adventurous, and deeply aligned. I'm Charu, and this podcast is your invitation to begin that journey. So let's begin. Conte. In Damanhur, Conte means I am with you. It's not just a greeting, it's an acknowledgement of our divine masculine and feminine within and our soul connection to each other. Damanhur is a spiritual eco community nestled in the Italian Alps, known for its underground temples of humankind, hand built cathedrals that are dedicated to awakening the divine in each of us. And today, I am honored to welcome someone who has lived and shaped that vision for over 4 decades. Formica Coriandolo moved to Damanhur at 21 and became one of the original artists behind the temples, bringing sacred glass, sculpture, color to life underground. She also serves as one of the guides of the Federation and shares her wisdom globally on intuition, lucid dreaming, and the divine feminine. And I had the beautiful opportunity to live and know with Formica in 2022. And today I have her on your colorful path. Formica Conte.
Conte, Charo. Thank you for inviting me in this beautiful podcast.
Thank you. I'm so excited that you're here. I have a lot of people that are very interested in knowing about Damanhur, and I would like you to begin by sharing a little bit briefly about what Damanhur is for anyone who doesn't know about it already.
Well, I could start saying that today we have just celebrated, a few days ago, we celebrated 50 years of history. So, Damanhur is a federation of communities, of spiritual communities. Now, after 50 years, because we are 100 people. But at the beginning, 50 years ago, it was a little bunch of people that started this adventure, in northern Italy, close to Turin. And together with Falco, Roberto Raudi, the founder, and also our spiritual guide, there was an extraordinary human beings, an extraordinary soul that inspire this little group of people to create a place where they could have lived spirituality and 24 hours a day, with the idea that the meditation is not something that you do only in certain times, but it's everyday life. And so they start creating, the first little town. This adventure when in 1983, 42 years ago, no, 42, yes, 43, 42, yes, it's
Wow.
43 years ago, gosh, you know, and, uh, and it has been amazing all this time that I spend here, because Damanhur today is 100 people, is spread all over this beautiful green valley, like the leopard skin. So, in order to visit Damanhur, many times people they think, okay, we will go there and we will stay in the place and everything is connected. No, so we have villages here and there, and in order to reach every place, you have to walk for hours, or you have to take an electric bicycle or a car, and it's beautiful because the idea since the beginning of the founder was to create this biodiversity, to get in touch with this biodiversity. So we have places like the one where I live, that you have been
Yeah.
also here, which is so rich of natural springs. So we
Yeah.
have the, 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 the honor, to really drink the water that comes from the rocks, and
Yeah.
and to take care of it, and even to use it and to give back to nature completely cleaned. So this is our commitment, for example. And we have other people that live in a hill, on a chestnut hill, and they take care of this beautiful ecosystem, as well as we have the people that stay in a more flat place, where we have the farm with animals, with a lot of the grapes and a lot of greenhouses. Damanhur is so various. And
Yeah.
also, what we always say is that diversity is a big value. But the more important thing is that is a spiritual life, is a spiritual community. So we are well known because we have excavated for 15 years and a half in underground temples where we have represented everything, all related to our belief system. And
Yeah.
it has been an amazing adventure.
Yeah. And for anyone listening, I can definitely attest to this, that the temples of humankind are sometimes even called, if you search the web, they're called the eighth wonder of the world. And when I got to experience them, I definitely will say that they are, because it's not just what human hands can do, because this is humanly dug out from under a mountain. And Formica was one of those people that worked in all those stages of creating that temple, but also because it is such a profoundly sacred space that really feels like it has its own consciousness. It felt to me like you're not in a space, you're just in an entirely different universe. So I would love for Mika to know, what was that journey like? What are the temples? I know a lot of people would be excited to see its beauty, and it is marvelous with all the paintings and the art. But there is a lot of depth and meaning to those temples. And I would love for you to speak about that.
Yeah. Thank you for asking, Charo. The temples are a, can I say, a spaceship?
Yeah.
And in saying so, I want to also really recognize the importance of all the temples all over the world, especially the one of native indigenous people and ancient civilization. They have always been portals in between dimensions. So we need temples, even if they are not really directly connected to our belief system as human beings. But temples are always a portal in between dimensions, and doing have, this precious function is unique for all of us. So we need the temples as humanity, and we need to respect every temple because it's a different access to this different, with this and a possibility to exchange with this beautiful divine ecosystem that is so complex. So we, Damanhur, I want to just say that is not a religion. We don't have dogma. Even if we believe, we have our theories about, everything, but we don't approach this with a dogmatic, you know. But we are very, very open to understand the deep connections that are, all over, spread all over in every belief system. So, for example, the temples are called the temples of humankind because are dedicated to the spirituality, all the spirituality of humanity. There is a hall in the temple, which is my favorite, I have to say, which is called the labyrinth, where we celebrate and honor every belief system, every different belief system, with such a deep research and devotional commitment. Because in order to, it's not only a matter of mm, through art representing, but it's all the research that we have done around every different belief system, that in we cannot be superficial when we represent a belief system.
Mm.
We need to really uh, dive into it and feel the connections with all the others so that we can represent every mythology
Yeah.
in a way that can really connect with each other. And the temples are an antenna that try to spread a message of reunion.
Yeah.
This is why, for example, in every hall, there are 8 halls in the temples, every hall has a specific function. And the one that I just mentioned has just the function to feel the sense of this oneness that we are. Mm, as humanity together with the divine ecosystem. And the idea is to try to um, keep all together these different mythologies to create a new mythology where all these belief systems are no more in, you know,
Fighting.
fighting
Yeah.
for their own truth, but really connecting with all the different, expression, because the truth is this crystal, and every face is a different belief system, and we need to honor it. We need to look at the beauty of all of it. That is because we are a family as humanity. So this is the deep, meaning. The temples are an example that want to inspire every human being that if we have done this, everybody can do even better. And together, we can do everything. It's a collective dream came true. It's an impossible dream came true.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I remember when I stayed there, and I was there for about 2 months, and I really got to learn so much about them. I even did one of the offerings that they had at the time, that you could stay in the temple overnight and do a meditation, which was really, really profound and beautiful. I think my favorite part about the temples was also that hall, the labyrinth, because that's also what I was seeing in the meditations. And I always wondered, why was I seeing that? And when I was in that space, I felt like that's the reason, because look at the powerful message, because that hall is just like all these beautiful paintings, and it's huge and blue, and cultures and nativity around from around the world. It is like you have made a universe of humanity inside that temple. And when you're in there, you cannot but feel that you are part of the whole, and you don't have to fight with each other or say that I'm better than you, but that we're all beautiful, beautifully designed by the divine, and we can all coexist. And the other thing you said that I think I want to reiterate is something that really changed me, was the Damanhurian philosophy of truth as being a multifaceted crystal.
Where we have a deep respect for diversity, every expression of diversity, because life is the integration of all this beautiful richness and different forms of lives and different, so many exchange. And we are alive beings, so why we should not recognize that if we are alive, is because we are integrated, and we cannot affirm our predominance. No, doing
Yeah.
so we kill life. We are in a moment in this time in which we cannot become predators of life. If we have such a tough impact in a natural environment, we kill the source of life also for our source of life. So we need to, to really we need to respect the natural life as we need to respect each other and different ideas and approaches to life. I, one of the really cornerstones of this Damanhur spirituality is, if the enlightenment
Yeah.
is at the center, I can arrive from here, from let's say, the north. You can arrive from the south. Someone can arrive from the east, and another one from the west. So it doesn't matter from which direction, and what kind of experience. in order to reach the enlightenment, every path is the right one. So we cannot judge what is the best, what is the right one. No, we need to recognize that the goodness,
Mm.
and we need to empower the goodness in every path, in every human being. So this is how we should live spirituality, and this is what we try, even if we're not perfect, because you know that Damanhur is not perfect, and we Damanhurian, that we are very deeply committed, but we are human beings with our limits. But this is what inspires our life. The idea that we need to recognize in each other an occasion for to grow. Mm.
Yeah. And if we could just live like that, although I have to say, Farmiga, it's really difficult. And I've been there, so I know that it really feels like a deeply um, interconnected community where people came from around the planet. Like there were people from Sweden, people from Italy, people from here. They're all around, and they were all living in this interconnected web. And I remember feeling, um, is this the idea behind Damanhur? Like, are we creating a smaller ecosystem that we can fine tune and then slowly make our whole world kind of like that? Do you think that's the purpose of Damanhur? Like, just showing a way of how it could be?
Yes, absolutely. Even if we, you know, our real dream is to inspire people to come back to live in community, different communities, because when you live together with others, when you really meet every time, every day, something different that you is challenging you, but you are able to overcome the problems and to, you know, and to see the good instead of the problem. You
Mm.
so this is really changing your approach to life, you know, and so we need to educate ourselves again that we are collective beings, that we have been educated to live isolated in our house, and you know, houses in boxes, and so many boxes create distance from each other, and then distance become, no, this distance is structured in nations, in and nations, they start, no, not taking care anymore about people, but taking care about their own interests. So the bigger dream is, why don't we try to go in the direction where we come back to live together with people, you know, and maybe look at the future where nations, they don't exist anymore, you know, but there exist only people like native indigenous people, like the people that they have their own identity. They don't need to fight with others, but they need to make exchange in resources.
But I'm going to take one step back because what you're saying is super important. And I want to know, so it always sounds really good to live in community because I think all of us deep down want to belong. We want to have connection. We want to have friends. But the actual practice of it is really difficult. And especially like people like me who live in cities now, the boxes. And even though we want to live in community, it can sound really scary to let go of that private space. So I'm not sure if do you think that their Damanhur has maybe figured out a middle path, like where you can have your space, but then also be part of the community? And like, how does that look like for people right now? And what is one joy? What
My
is
dog.
one joy? Yes, she agrees. She's like, yes, it's great to live in
Yeah.
community. What is the one joy of living in community and one challenge that you feel like is the major challenge? One major challenge, one major joy of living
Okay.
in communities.
Allora, maybe they are two faces of the same coin. So the main joy is the awareness of how many people are brothers and sisters. I have hundreds brothers and sisters. I have a huge family that is a real family. It's not just people that, okay, we meet sometimes. When we meet, I can look in the other eyes and I feel that we are so deeply connected, that we share the same roots, and that there is a real love. Even if we don't need even to go so much in depth, even if we're not all friends, very best friends. So this is the real joy, a sense of belonging, a sense of togetherness, because we share the same spiritual vision. There is a common heart. And this is the reason why we can really be so united and so connected. On the other hand, the big challenge is to face and to be able to live the everyday life, knowing that I like the soap cold and she likes the soap complete, hot and boiling. And then I arrive at home and I have a beautiful soap that is El Vulcano. It's an example, just yesterday that
Yeah.
happens in my family. And there's sometimes you can laugh, about details like these ones, and there are the moments in which you get really nervous and annoyed because you are tired, you don't have time, and then things are not going in the way that you would like. And this is the real difficult um, to face everyday challenges, because we are all different. So one person put the butter in a way in the fridge and another one wants to put in another one. Stupid stuff, okay? But and this is also the opportunity to grow, to pass through it, because it's like there is such a beautiful way to, metaphor that Falco has used. He said, in order to become a beautiful stone that you can see in the river, these beautiful round stones, that are all together, you have to imagine how much time they have passed together, crashing with each other in order to become beautiful, smooth, and and going, flowing with no more hurting anything, but just smooth. So there's the aspect of the challenge. But in and I think that in Damanhur we have been able to create um, a way of living together that empower the big values, and not that disempower I don't know how to say
Mm,
that in English, the little details. So
got
we
it.
don't believe in problems, we believe in connections.
Yeah.
This doesn't mean that we don't have conflicts. We have conflicts, absolutely, because we are normal people. But we are not so scared about conflicts. We know that beyond the moment of the, no, I'm nervous, you're nervous too, so quick clash moment, there is something more. There is something so much more that we can, maybe sometimes we need just few hours, just few minutes, sometimes we need few days, no, because we need to process also, and then we know that we are brothers and sisters, and there's something bigger that keep us united. But you asked me something very important before. You asked me there is a way that can just allow people that don't feel confident to live in community, huh? Because it's
Hmm.
hard also to live in a big house, 20 people together, sharing bathroom, kitchen,
Yes.
dining room, etc. Even if everybody, they have their own, of course, personal private space, we share
Yes.
every, different. So yes, there is. And also, when we say that we would like to help and inspire people to create communities, it's not even that one model is the right one,
Yeah,
because diversity is
absolutely.
diversity. So we need to create communities that can really meet the person's need, but nourish this sense of belonging. So a model of community can be also co-housing. In a building
Yeah.
we can become friends. We can have everybody's apartment, but try to nourish the sense of community, even in a city, no? Where who are the people that you live in the building, and just connect and make a little gift, something, a courtesy, a kind gesture can create connections. The moment,
Yeah.
sense of solidarity, that nobody is alone,
Yeah.
nobody is left alone, that we see each other, we
Yeah.
can see everybody, even wherever we are. So inspiring people to create community doesn't mean that they have to leave their own apartment and just, but it's a way of being. It's a way of looking at the others. It's a way of, you know, not feeling that the other ones are just strangers, but they can be family.
Mm,
Mm?
that's beautiful.
A kind of family. Mm?
Yeah. A larger family, a human
Yeah,
family.
yeah, a human family.
Like, we don't have to be so into each other that it has to be like our private family, but
Mhm.
to not, I think what you said is important, to not see the other as a stranger.
Yeah.
I think that's the larger problem. I think happening with the loss of connection is that sometimes we can look at each other and not even see the human in each other. And so that's what you're saying, and that's
Yeah.
beautiful. But I wanna bring it back to something you said that took me to the thought about Falco, who is the founder of this beautiful community. And um, there is so much to speak about him, and maybe we have to do another episode about how his own path to coming and creating this community from nothing to what it is today. But what do you think was, if you had to explain his founding idea, like what did he unite these people from around the world with? What is that central idea, or what do you think was his most important teaching?
Oh gosh, you are right. We need to dedicate a space only for this, because he has been um, an amazing, human beings, and even more. But I want to tell you something uh, special for us. hmm? Special for us. Falco has always been a person that trusted us in such a deep way and meaningful way, that allow ourselves to trust ourselves. So if I was, I was an electrician when I came to Damanhur. I was a workman, a workwoman, yeah, very male
And you
job.
were just 21, right?
I was 21, and I was very masculine and very, a very proud electrician, a woman electrician. And I came to Damanhur, and there was this importance, need to create art, because the temples were just rock excavated, and we needed to start creating. But nobody was an artist. So I always say that nobody was aware that everybody are artists. Okay, so we and Falco, and he was pushing us to really create art, to start, and we were so uncertain, and but he was trusting so much. He was not having any doubt that we could have created beautiful things in a way that it was overwhelming. I was, I start looking at me with his eyes, and I say, I can do it. If you trust me so much, I can do it. No, because it's like when
Yeah.
you have a father or mother, and he has been our spiritual father, and
Yeah.
so when you have someone that is so charismatic that you believes in you, you start believing yourself. And this has allowed us to do everything. When the founders starting excavating the temples, they were not having any engineer, any architect, anybody that was never done it. And we continued to create the temple with nobody that was able to do it, but we did it. And it's a cathedral, it's big, it's huge, and it's full of art and beauty. And we did everything from scratch. We are all self-made people,
Yeah.
and this means that human beings, they can do everything, that everybody is an artist, that everybody can accomplish a very important dream. It's a power that we have, and we have to allow ourselves to express this power. And Falco has been the one that taught us to believe in our dreams, in our potential. And this is the most important spiritual, gift that he has given us, because he empower us. And when you empower yourself, you can empower others. And this
Yes.
is a chain that continues. So this is why we are dreamers that we can infect other dreamers. We are contagious. We can contaminate in a positive way all the others. Yeah, because when you have done the community life campus, when we do art together in the campus, there are people that they have never touched a clay, they have never taken a brush in their hands, and then in few hours together we can create something that is, did you say, oh my god, it's beautiful, huh?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of people who think that to be creative or to even engage in art, you have to be an artist. And I always say, no, you are a human being. You have everything inside you. You just need to allow it to speak.
Yes.
And I think your story of how you created those incredible stained art, I mean, I saw it and I could not believe how incredibly exquisite and professional and just mind blowing that stained glass art that you did for Mika is. And I know that you had shared with me then that, I wasn't a stained glass artist, but I trained and I practiced. I want you to speak a little bit about that journey because I think it will really allow people to unleash that inner artist in them, listening to your powerful story. How did you go from being an electrician to creating art? What was that journey? And then how did you get so good? I mean, Formika, you're incredible at it. I mean, people have to really go to the temples to see the some of the stuff that you've done there.
Let me start from this. Falco, mm, when he brought me in the temples, okay, and I saw this temple, these rocks, and he said, we need to paint, we need to create art here and there, and people will arrive from all over the world, and they will become, they will be surprised, and they will learn from you how to do something similar. I was thinking, it's crazy. No, it's completely crazy. And then, but the energy, it was so high, and the dream was so beautiful and contagious that we said, okay. And I give up, and I start trusting it, and so I came. I was born in Florence, and Florence is very well known for art. There's laboratories of everything. So
Mhm.
I decided to come back to Florence and to start going here and there in these laboratories of stained glasses. And I had to lie. I had to lie to these people because I couldn't enter in these laboratories, and say, I am part of a spiritual community. We are excavating an underground temple. We need to do art. Please teach me. They would have said, Lady, that's the door. You can go. So I I lied. I said, okay, I am a teacher in a little school, which was true also, because we have also in Damanhur schools from 0 to 14 years old. So our kids, they go to our schools and they even do a lot of art and they travel a lot all over the world. So this is because we believe in a school that give the possibility to kids to really learn from life, from
Yeah.
experiences, and not from books, or
Yeah.
computers only. So, I said, okay, I'm a teacher in this little school in Piedmont, and I would like to teach them to do little, art crafts with the stained glasses. And so they trusted me, and they opened the door where they were working. And so I have been able to look how they were. At that time, there were no phones, so I couldn't record anything. I just, I was stealing with my eyes. And then I came back to Damanhur, and me and another girl, we tried to create the sun door, which is in one of the hall of the temples, which is the hall of the earth. And it took us some weeks, not even such a long time. But and when we finished, we were absolutely astonished by our work. We couldn't even believe that we were the ones that did that, you know. And still now it's very strange, but this is the part that many people they really love. Is the one that when there is a gadget with something, they always buy that because it's still like it has like the energy of the beginning that you can
Mm.
perceive somehow that it's when you so it's very special. And when I finished this portal, that I did the design also. In that moment, I had the enlightenment, and I said, everybody can do everything. I mean, if I did this, this means that every human being can do it, can do even better. This is why now, as I said before, Falco was trusting us. And now I trust human being. I don't have any
Mm.
doubt because I have discovered that this path that I did, everybody they can do. No, and
Mm.
this is so beautiful, so inspiring, so that I would really, when people arrive here and we do the campus, but in any situation, I really can't wait to see people that they discover what they can do. That's such a. I'm so proud. No, I'm so honored to
Yeah.
be able to see these beautiful discoveries, this creativity that comes out from everybody.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you,
I
Tesoro.
think I think it's really important for anyone listening to know that you can start from anywhere and just show up with attention and interest, and the path sort of opens up. But you have to show up. Like, you didn't just sit in Florence, you actually came to this area. You followed what was that first instinct to go from just being in Florence to finding and following Falco to this area? Was that an intuitive path?
Was that then what?
In an intuition led path?
In
Like, how did
intuition?
you find how did you find Falco? Like, what was that story?
Ah, oh. Allora, I was 21 years old. I was an electrician. I was having my house, my motorbike, my books, my music, my good friends, and I was missing the sense of life. What is the purpose of life? Even if I was having a very good life, because I was somehow to be an electrician. It was my dream because when I was a little kid, I was my dream was to become a plumber. you know
So cute.
because I fall in love with the plumber, so to me plumbers were the best. was the top. I will become a plumber. So this beautiful man will fall in love with me. That was my
That's cute.
idea. So, but nobody trusted me as a plumber, so I became an electrician. So, and no, okay, but really, I was very independent, and I was really having a good life, but I was kind of very aware that everything was seems to be a game, no, a repetition of some patterns, even different. Different life, different people, but the same structure, like the same repetition always. And I was feeling that I couldn't live, that this was not giving me the real sense of why we are alive. What is life for? Is just for this? No way. There must be something else. Okay, because and and so I was very restless, and I start looking, reading, trying, and then I get in touch with Castaneda. I discovered Carlos
Carlos.
Castaneda, and
Yeah.
I read his books. And because I have been a lucid dreamer since I was 8 years old, and because Carlos Castaneda was speaking about the Toltec lineage of dreaming in his books, this was resonating so much to me that I made a very crazy decision. I said, I quit my job, I sell my motorbike, and I buy a ticket for only one way to Mexico because I need to go there and to find the lineage of Castaneda. And
Wow.
all my friends, they say, "Are you crazy? Don't go! Don't do that! You will, they will kill you. Who knows what happens in Mexico? You are a girl alone. You don't know English. You don't know Spanish. You what?"
Yeah.
But I was really determined, very convinced. So the week before, I was ready to buy the ticket, going to the airport. At that time, there was no internet. Then synchronicity. By synchronicity, I just that evening, some friends they asked me, "Can you come and take care of our kids so we can go to see?" This beautiful concert, and I say okay, and then I went, and the kid just fall asleep immediately. And then I said, okay, now I sit in front of the TV because I was not having the TV in my home. I do zapping and I look at everything. And I just turn on the video, and there was this very boring, absolutely not interesting image of this woman that was ironing, in a home. But she was speaking about this man, and the man was Falco. And she was saying, when I met him, when I met this man, I was thinking that I would have met a very charismatic person. And instead than a very charismatic person, I just met this very young guy, very normal person, but his eyes were like, you know, they were red magnetic eyes. Green, no red, sorry, green magnetic eyes. And I don't know why I didn't change the channel. I stayed like this boring image was completely capturing my attention. And then Damanhur came out, and there were interviews with these people speaking about Damanhur. And the people were laughing, smiling with this beautiful energy. And they were saying, we want to create a place where we can share our dreams. We can live according with our values. And I and the program was speaking about them like crazy people. So the director was making some comments like, don't go there. They are not really. And I was completely fall in love. I said, okay, before I go in Mexico, I have to go there. And I start trying to reach the place. And I called and they didn't say in the video the address. So I start calling the Italian national TV every day to have the phone number. After 1 week, they say, and I said I have to delay my departure. Okay, because I cannot go away before I have to visit them. So they told me at a certain point, don't call us anymore. We give you the phone number of the director. Please speak with her and don't call us anymore. So the director gave me the phone number and told me, don't go there. It could be, they are strange people. And I say, okay, thank you. And then I went, and then they were really strange people because, they were so beautiful people, so different.
Yeah.
Strange, yes, but in a good sense.
Yeah.
And I didn't leave Italy anymore. I didn't go to Mexico. I just fall in love, and it was weird to me, because I was really convinced to go to Mexico, but I felt, I felt home. In the first moment I came there, I felt home. There was a piece of my heart there, together with
Yeah.
these people. So, and that's it. That's
Wow.
the story.
I mean, you are so brave on many fronts. You always were, you still are. But also, I think that story also is a great reminder of listening to that inner calling. Um, and it's always telling you something that maybe other people don't resonate with. Maybe other people don't see it for you, but you know it, you feel it. And when you do follow it, I mean, you've been there for 40 years. I think that's testament to you following that inner calling. And I think that's a beautiful, beautiful personal story. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you so much.
I'm looking at the time and I know that we are short, and I know that we need to record another episode just about your work that I find really profound, which is all about lucid dreaming and how you took that data point of understanding from Carlos Castaneda
Así,
about lucid dreaming. And then
sí.
you took it to an entirely new level and now you teach it. And so there are people that would be really interested in that. So we need to do an entire episode about that. But for today, um, I want anybody who is interested in visiting Damanhur to know that there is this beautiful campus that you organize where you can actually go and live with the community, with you, and with people from all around the world for 14 days. Am I right? Is it
10
2 weeks?
days,
10 days.
10 days.
And deeply immerse in everything, get a tour of the temples and all the sacred sites, and let it be like a beautiful guided journey of everything that Damanhur is. And to anyone listening, I will say this to you personally: we have barely scratched like the surface of all that Damanhur has. I mean, they have these beautiful spirals that you walk as a walking meditation. They have the forests and woods that have been regenerated by the people from Damanhur. I mean, there is so much there. But for anyone listening who wants to visit, what would you recommend and how do they find you?
Okay. So in our website, or if they just Google Community Life Campus Damanhur, they arrive at the English page of the programs of the campus. We organize them, from March to October. So we just start one the 3rd of July, from 3rd to the 13th of July, and then there is another one in October. And they can find there also our mail, my phone number, so they can just send a message, whatever. It's always a joy you know, to meet the people. Also because we think that this is the time in which the people that they have to meet, they meet. And so thank you, Charu, for, giving me the opportunity also to invite the people, and for you inviting the people to down. Thank you.
Yes, of course. It was one of the most inspiring experiences that I had on my own spiritual path. And it was early on, and I felt so lucky that I listened to that inner intuition saying, go to this community in northern Italy. I had no idea what or why. And when I followed it there and I stayed there for 2 months, I think I became a new person. Just seeing what is possible, just seeing how embodied it was to meditate and live a spiritual life and also have fun and also not be so serious and live in community and also be a creative. I felt like everything was possible in Damanhur. And so I thank you for offering the Community Life Campus and for coming on this show today. We are absolutely delighted. And I want to promise my audience that we are going to get Formica back and we will talk about lucid dreaming because that is also something that I did with you as level 1 and I absolutely enjoyed it. But any last thoughts, Formica? Anything you want to say?
Oh, I really, I want just to, if I can say something to people that I don't know, but that is here just listening, I want to just, I know it's hard. I know it's hard. This is a time, crazy time, but um, I want to just finish saying that in Damano we believe in magic. And magic is not something weird. Magic, it's an ancient science that has a lot to do with the new discoveries of quantum physics. And there are kind of laws that are underlying life that we don't see, at least we don't learn at school, but they exist, and everything resonate with our dreams, and we can believe that we can do everything. So, and this is not just metaphysic, this is just almost really physic. Okay,
Yes,
so that's, I wish
that's
everybody
beautiful.
to really empower their dreams.
Yeah, and we will come back with a lucid dreaming episode, and they will get to know the powerful research that Dominar has done on lucid dreaming. But thank you so much, Formica Conte. I absolutely love and
So,
adore you, and thank you so
me
much for
too.
saying yes.
Thank you, Tesoro.
All right. If this episode moved something in you, please hit the follow button. Please leave a review, a star rating for us. It really matters to me to know how you feel about things. And I hope you continue to walk this colorful path with me. You can reach me anytime through Divine Amuleto, my Instagram account. That's where I share the tools, practices, and fine jewelry that supports this journey of transformation. So do check it out. Thank you for being here. Until next time, may you keep listening to the wisdom within.